and welcome to Stateside Soccer Show. My name is Jordan Wiegand, and with me, as always, is a man who is brand new to seeing CONCACAF brawls. It's Logan Stump.
That was a wild ending. That was insane. Good Lord. That was as red as you could get, I think. That he lined him up. Blanco lined him up as if he was like, okay, you look like the next piece of meat that I want to chew on, and just went after him. But God, that was a wild ending. We couldn't really jump on live. I was just like standing in the living room watching, going, okay, well, this is getting uglier and uglier by the minute. They just keep fighting.
Yeah, we were waiting to we were all pretty much set to go until that happened. It was really crazy, what just happened there. That is, let me just say, as CONCACAF as you can get, in all honesty here. But Logan, give me your thoughts here on the on CONCACAF and the Champions League as a whole before we really get into the Union. Because you watched some of the games yesterday, so just give us your overall impressions, because that is about as CONCACAF as it can get.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, just, watching some of the teams play in the Olympics, you can kind of see, and I've known CONCACAF,
right?
Obviously, watching World Cup and watching the different teams play and qualifying and different things like that in the Olympics. But I mean, I knew it was chippy, but these guys in MLS are running out their preseason sides, right? They're running out their sides that haven't been up to fitness. And usually when you're not up to fitness, your body is willing to take some hits, but not like they would during the regular season. So kind of watching them try to play through a very physical competition, really just to start the year. And a lot of these CONCACAF teams, I mean, just take it really seriously in their midseason, getting into form or falling out of form. So you're kind of seeing that dynamic as well. But overall, I mean, I guess it's gone pretty well for my first one for MLS sides representing. So far, so good. 3 out of the 3 teams that have played have put up a good fight. I think that they've all played really well for, especially being preseason. I was really, I watched the whole Atlanta game last night and just watched this game, and I was really impressed, though. I love it. I love this competition. It's way more physical than European Champions League, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm all for the physicality.
And what I was going to say, too, like the first thing I was thinking of when I was jumping on this is I was thinking before that tackle, I was thinking this game wasn't really that chippy beforehand. I was like, this didn't feel like CONCACAF Champions League to me. And, little did I know, 94th minute, it was going to get that way pretty quickly, too. It just took one tackle, and it was tempers were flaring. Yeah, we had our friend Rich contact me as well. He said, that should have been a red. I said, yes. Yeah. I said, but CONCACAF is going to CONCACAF. He was like, is that normal in CONCACAF Champions League? I said, yes, this is
that's the slogan, isn't it? Yeah, that's the slogan. Yeah, you get CONCACAF. Yeah, come on now.
Luckily, the Union did not really get CONCACAF. If they had gotten CONCACAF, one of our players would have gotten red, and then they would have gave them a penalty for whatever reason, and they would have drawn level.
Right. No, yeah, and kind of watching the match too, it was just like you said, it didn't have the intensity the other two did. Like the Atlanta game, that was wild. I mean, they were back and forth, and Guzan gets that red card just before the half, and but just, I mean, physicality just totally unmatched. I think for other leagues just don't play as chippy. It can get ugly, obviously. It gets ugly at times, and it was very much back and forth with a lot of these matches. But I did feel like the Philly game, out of all of them, it was kind of like the odd man out. It was kind of like the one that didn't live up to the CONCACAF up until about that 90th minute. So
yeah, that was great. So let's dive a little deeper into the game, I guess. This game started off pretty hot, right? The Union had tons of chances, I felt like, at the beginning of this game. 34th minute, Shabilko, as it says there on our ticker, scored a great goal. This was a great header where a lot of things could go wrong. You could overthink it. It was because it was hanging there for a while. Really, it was hanging there for a while. and then you get the great cross from Mbazo, and if he plays like that all the time, then the loss of Ray Gaddis is not going to sting as much as what some people have thought, because he looked really sharp today, I thought.
Yeah, he probably, out of all the guys that I was watching, he probably impressed me the most out of the guys that you really wanted to see step up into that role. I think that there was a couple times where obviously he puts one in that was real nice into Shabelko, but then he puts in another one that they didn't get on the end of. I think it was Flock that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Shabelko was in there trying to get to it. But honestly, I think when you're looking at the way that Mbazio played, that's something that you got to see step up. And with the defense that was so solid last year, you really like to see that. And man, did he look good in the attack?
Yeah, and I thought Flock looked really great today too. You know, this was like my first chance to actually get a good view of Flock, and I thought he played really great, and it seems to me that a lot of people have agreed with that assessment.
No, I agree. I mean, when you looked at him, he just looked so poised. I think he's 20, I want to say. And he comes in and he looks like he's been doing it for a while. There was one that was in particular that I really liked, and it was just a small detail, but I really enjoyed when there was a time where he was going through the midfield and he kind of delayed his run with the ball just a little bit, enough to get a defender to slide in. I forget if it draws yellow exactly, but trying to put in, oh, hello, Matthew. But trying to draw in defenders, and, you know, the ability to kind of stop his progress going forward, just to take in that leg so he could get that foul call. I mean, it did. It looked so poised. That was another one. I was really impressed with. 20 years old, stepped right in, and the most important game for Union history, I think, and a lot of fun. So he's really good. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, it was, man, I mean, this game, look, right before that goal too, I was actually really starting to think that they were coming into the game. You know, Saprissa was really starting to get some more possession. They were really starting to look really good, I thought, at times. And sorry, the Twitter link wasn't working at first.
Okay.
But then the goal happened, right? And that's exactly what you needed. And I wish they would have scored maybe one other one to really carry it over. And I think if I said before the game, I would have taken a 1-1 draw. But I think if we had given up a goal, I would have been really disappointed, because I just felt like we dominated that game.
Yeah,
for a time.
Yeah, no, and that's what they said. They said it wasn't like possession was obviously Saprissa actually won possession there 53% of the time. But when you looked at the possession, when you looked at the quality of possession and the build up, the link up play, you could definitely tell that Philadelphia had the upper hand. Like, it just felt like after about 20 minutes, Philly started to get into a nice groove. Yeah, nice to meet you too as well. I guess Matt Hartgrove is a big MLS fan. Good to see you, Matt.
Yeah, he knows about the impact.
Yeah, a lot of impact. Maybe not so positive, but maybe negative. So yeah, I mean, I think that if you're Jim Curtin, you really like the way that Philly played. I mean, from start to finish. And yeah, you can kind of see that. You can see in these games that, you know, these MLS teams, they're struggling around the 60th to 70th minute.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see some of the legs wear out. But who do you think? I mean, as far as if you're going to give man of the match, Jordan, who are you giving it to?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I thought El Brujo was very good as well. But here's the thing. I mean, so is Montero. I mean, that is the question. I don't know who I would give man of the match to. Let's see. They have on FOTMob as Kai Wagner as getting it. You could say him too.
Yeah.
Honestly. But I just thought that everybody was just so solid in this. We ended up with less possession and less shots, but it just didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
At all.
Right.
You know? look, 16 shots from Saprissa to 5 for the Union, but the 16 from Saprissa, there's only a few of those that were probably real, actual chances to get in the back end. You had the one that Wagner cleared off the line, which was a great clearance there. And then got like you said, around the 65th, 70th minute, it started slowing down. The Union started giving up possession a bit more, some sloppier passes, and that's when Saprissa was able to kind of come back into the game. And, the CONCACAF nerves really start shaking in you at that point, because you start worrying, like, I've seen this story before. As somebody that's watched the CONCACAF Champions League since, 2010, 2011-ish. Right. It happens all the time. And look, this is the first MLS loss that they've had at Saprissa since 2009, when I think they said the Crew had won a game there in 2009.
Right.
So they don't really lose a lot there. Now, I did listen to our friend Todd Lewis's podcast, The Free Kick. He had Eddie, who covers Costa Rica football at CRC Football on Twitter. And, he made me feel a lot better about this game, because he hearing the struggles that Saprissa has been going to. This is their 8th game in all competitions that they have winless, 7 league games.
Yeah.
And the coach, like they said on the broadcast, might start facing that pressure soon, because they have a game coming up on Saturday against the bottom of the league. And if they don't get a win there, pressure's probably going to start piling on. The Union have the advantage that they have no games on the weekend, right? So they can rest up, they can be fit. And then for the Saprissa game, they're going to have to play on Saturday, and then they're going to play on Wednesday again. And they're going to have to travel to Philadelphia.
Which Jordan Wiegand will be in attendance.
I will.
Could you imagine that?
The goal. I'm behind underneath the scoreboard, behind the goal, not in the Sons of Ben section, because sometimes my wife gets headaches. So I was like, probably best to not sit back there.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was picking up my Orlando City seats, and then I got the chance to select today, I'm like, I like how rowdy they are, right, in Orlando. I just don't know if I can deal with the being that close to the drums. I tend to be one that doesn't like constant noise. So I think the further away I could have gotten from, but they're good. It's passionate fans, but kind of getting back to the game. One person that I was kind of concerned with at first was, and it kind of followed all the way through the game, but he didn't really get involved much, but Fontana, the first half seems like
he had 14 touches or something. It was not a lot, or a few touches in the first 14 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was 4 touches in the first 20 minutes or something like that. And I don't know if it was because he wasn't necessarily comfortable in the role he was up near Szabelko, whether he'd rather be kind of towards the midfield. He played more in the forward position, and he was actually, to be honest, I thought at the beginning, Szabelko was playing more of the passing forward than it was Fontana. And I think Fontana was kind of trying to figure out, what exactly can I do up here that I'm not used to being in this position a whole lot. So I think that was part of it. And then part of it was, just the preseason. I just don't think that the guys have, even though they've played together, I don't know if they've had enough time to kind of get back on the same page. So, Fontana was adequate. He didn't do anything special. He didn't do anything wrong. He just kind of was there. And I think that that's something they'll have to look into to see if they can get any more touches early on.
Yeah, certainly. It was, something that, look, I'm not going to read too much into it, just because, like they said, he was, he was in, training all preseason for the number 10 role. And he was playing more of a second striker role. So for me, I think, I can't even speak right now, because that performance that we've seen from these 3 MLS sides so far have been fantastic.
Yep. Getting
these results at a time when they're in preseason after a long off season with COVID. The season ended in December. Some of those teams didn't play since November. And then you have, you have the the preseason. They started a little earlier, but only 2 months ago have they started training.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now we can kind of maybe bury the whole look. People have been wanting to see preseason games. They've been wanting to stream them. I am part of that wants to stream preseason games, wants to.
Yeah.
But they're ultimately meaningless.
Right.
The Union have not looked good in preseason, and not at all. They beat DC United. That was like their one game that they looked probably decent in, right? That they won. And they go out there and put this performance in Costa Rica against Saprissa. I understand Saprissa's, we talked about their 7-game winless, in the league and 8 overall now with this one. But to go in there, like I said, against a team that has not lost a game to an MLS side since Columbus in 2009, usually don't lose at home in the Champions League. It means a lot that a team, and I think this shows the growth of the league, that a team this is our first appearance. This is the Union's first appearance in CONCACAF Champions League, and they're able to go in there and get the point. Not the point, but get the goal and get the advantage. We got an away goal, going back home to Philadelphia, where I will be in the stands, and have a shot. That's all I was asking for. I just wanted a shot for that second leg,
right,
to mean something,
right,
for when I go. And look, I was hoping for 0-0, 1-0, 1-1, and I got 1-0, and that is by far the best option.
Right.
And now I think we can win 1-0 at home or 0-0, but I think we will need another goal. I worry that we won't get another goal and Saprissa gets, 2 or even just 1, and we have to go extra time and really start pushing that for leg 2, which would worry me. The job's not done. But here's the thing also that you may not know. The way that this used to always happen is not just against Mexican teams, but against all the teams in CONCACAF. A lot of times the MLS team would have the first leg at home, and then they would go. Sorry, Toronto almost scored. They would go to They would win like 1-0.
Yeah.
At home, and then they would go to the next place and lose 3-4-0. The fact that like Atlanta ekes out a 1-0 victory with a red card, down a man. They hung in there, right?
Right.
They're going to go back to Atlanta now. The fact that the Union got a 1-0, the fact that Timbers have a 2-2, makes me feel really great that those 3 teams are going back, right? Those 3 teams are going back home. I think Crew start at home.
Yeah. Because I think they have to.
Toronto's away.
Yeah, I think they do.
So
wait, no. Like Crew can't start at home. They're playing. Aren't they playing? Are you talking about they start at home for the season?
Start at home for CCL. They have the first leg at home.
Yes. That's a good question.
I thought one of them did. I didn't think that.
I think they do.
I didn't think it was every team starting away. No, this has them at Real Esteli.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yes, because I thought they all started away because I thought the whole issue was like the teams coming up here, like the South American teams coming up here.
Interesting. So that's really great then. That sets up the MLS teams great. And look, if the Union move on, if Atlanta move on, those are the 2 teams that are going to face each other next, which will be fun. Sad thing is, then if that's the case, one of them is going to ultimately get knocked out, in the quarterfinal instead of later on. So that would be unfortunate. But look, just like I sometimes like to have English versus English teams or German versus German teams in the UEFA Champions League, it'd be fun to be facing Atlanta in a quarterfinal for the Champions League to see who gets to a semifinal. It would at least guarantee an MLS team in the semifinal, which would be great. Because let's face it, I don't think Toronto's going to get there. That game's going on right now as we speak. They're hanging on okay. It's 20 minutes. They've had some chances against Lyon. And they're away as well, so we'll see how that game shakes out. But I'm just jazzed. Like this never used to be the way. This never used to be a way that an MLS team would look, or that these 3 MLS teams would get these results. So this is a fantastic start to the Champions League. When all of these teams are out of shape, this is I can't state that enough.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Just not informed teams that I think that you saw the best 3 teams, including I don't know Toronto necessarily. I mean, just they're playing now, but I don't know if they're probably my least as far as favorites to win. Obviously, I think that they've got a tough game and tough leg. They're playing pretty well from what I've seen so far. But I mean, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time that the MLS does start to look more competitive. I mean, we're starting to get there, I think, as a country. I think maybe it's time that the MLS hopefully can get some of these nice results. I mean, I think it's time for, Columbus or one of these teams to get further and further into these legs and kind of knock out some of these teams and playing each other in the Champions League and then see what happens and see what these U.S. teams have to offer, especially these MLS teams and kind of going down to these really tough places to play on these pitches that are just not suitable for some of our guys and compete the way that they did. I thought Atlanta looked fantastic. I think that they actually looked the scariest of the 3 that have played so far, I think, and they were down a man. So, I think that Philly played extremely well, and they were probably right behind Atlanta in their performance. And I think that Saprissa was a lesser of a side, so I think that was some of the issue. But yeah, I'm really impressed with just everything that I've seen so far with the United States teams and the MLS teams going down there and taking care of business, and hopefully Toronto can too. Could you imagine if if we start knocking out all these other teams and it's just a bunch of MLS teams playing around?
Look, the goal is an all MLS final, so you can get over this hump, right?
Hump, that'd be
the
amazing.
Guarantee then that somebody would win it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you would want them to both be American MLS clubs. That way, you can say America won it, not Canada. But
right,
it is what it is. This was. I don't know what else to really say about this match. Really, it was just gritty performance. Like I said, wasn't very chippy until that last tackle, really, that kind of ended the match. I mean, they did 2 other kicks after that.
Yes. Yeah.
Pointless. And then it should have been a red card. That's the issue with VAR is that they weren't able to check it, but the linesman should have been able to see that it was a red.
Yep.
And I don't blame the main ref because he went over and consulted with his linesman, and there you go. I thought the ref at times was I thought it was an okay ref match, actually. Right. I don't have too many complaints except for
he was younger. This is only his third. I think it was only his third match in CCL, and he was a younger. I think it's maybe his 3rd year or something like that he's been in major competition. So I think that there was a lot. I mean, and again, CONCACAF is gonna CONCACAF. Like when they go up to the United States stadiums, I think it'll be kind of the same with the opposite direction. I think it's a lot of that, and it's. Once you're in surroundings, even though there's not fans, there's still people there from the club that are watching, or, there's still some sway in it, I think. And there's still people watching, and the community outside is watching. So I think that, but it is amazing to go down there and to be 2 wins. And Toronto just got scored against.
You must be ahead of me.
2 wins, a draw, and a very good draw because it's the 2 away goals. So all Seattle. Sorry, Portland. All Portland needs to do is keep even, or just win that game. So
all of these teams just have to be 0-0.
Yep.
If they all just finish 0-0, they will move on to the next round. Do you think Brad Guzan is a big loss for Atlanta? Because I actually don't. I think that they have I think they have.
That kid looked good. Rocco looked good. Rocco looked really good. He looked confident. I think he's here to prove something too. He didn't look like a kid that was like, "Oh my gosh, this light's too bright for me." It was more of like, "Yeah, I'm confident in the way." And I think that what helped is he was successful against a team that hadn't lost in a long time. So, I think having that confidence and having that in the defense, I thought Santiago Sosa was fantastic. Probably man of the match in my opinion. Just unbelievable between he and Rocco kind of shoring up that back line and defending the goal. You weren't going to get anything by him, I don't think, even though they were tired. I mean, Santiago Sosa was just a wall. And he's usually he usually pushes forward more in the midfield. So to watch him defend in more of a center back role, that was cool to watch too. So that Atlanta we haven't done our predictions yet, but that game yesterday was like, oh, okay. Okay, that's different.
This game for the Union made me feel a lot better about the team going forward. To be honest, I think
Shabelko looked damn good.
He did, yeah.
Wow.
For having back injections or whatever for spasms, I mean, the fact that he looked that good,
he creates really well. He creates really well. You know what? The play that I loved was, and I thought Jose Martinez was my man of the match. I thought the things that he did, he got lazy towards the end, but I think it was more tired than anything. There was a lazy pass or two that he put back to Blake. And then again, Blake played well too. I mean, it just go from each position. I don't think you had a Philadelphia player that kind of looked lost, except, I mean, Fontana wasn't really involved, but other than that, that pass though, Jordan, it was like a thing of beauty. Jose into Bedoya, and Bedoya kind of drops it off. And it was kind of like unbelievable. And he made that run to where he could get open into that position to kind of drop one off into Bozio, and then Bozio puts a ball on a platter to Shabelko. Shabelko, if you put a ball into Shabelko on his head, it just looks like it's gonna be a goal. He just looks so poised.
That's a difficult one too. It's hanging for so long. You can seriously overthink that, no problem.
Yes.
Or just get like antsy, like I gotta attack it now, and then you hit it wrong or whatever. So the fact that he put that away is great, and I got spoiled. This FOTMob app must have been a few seconds ahead of me, so I didn't get the eruption that I wanted of like I was like, oh, here it comes now. Oh, this is how it's gonna happen, which is unfortunate. So the rest of the game I sat with my phone upside down, like so that I couldn't see the screen. So I could enjoy. And guess what? No other goals, of course, right?
Yeah, I turn off all the scoring notifications. Scoring notifications aren't on my phone. It's just lineups. So
yeah. So any other thoughts on any of these games?
I'm looking forward to Columbus. I'm looking forward to Columbus because I think out of the 5 teams, I think that they're my favorites to at least go further. Although I mean, I will say that Atlanta and Philly, those are 2 really strong teams. And right now, I mean, I haven't really seen Saprissa is not stronger than Philadelphia, not from what I saw. Not right now. They're not. Aluenze did not play well with 10. I mean, you can't get a goal in 45 minutes with 10 men and a kid that just, I mean, they literally signed him that day and he's putting on a kit. Pretty sure it had like a permanent marker name drawn on the back of it, like Rocco. But what a great story that was. And then Portland, I think is everybody's second favorite, heavy favorite to win. And they looked good. They just need to shut down some goals, but I think that going back home and into Portland, and I think they're going to allow fans. Good luck.
Yeah, they are.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think almost every team in the Champions League has fans, except for I guess Toronto wouldn't, because are they allowing? They'd be in Orlando, right?
Oh yeah, they're in Orlando. That's right. Montreal's the one in Miami. Yeah.
But I mean, like, would they sell? I mean, like, would they sell tickets? Because you don't have any Toronto fans, right?
I think they might say, hey, pitch in some money and you can go. I don't see why they would have any kind of closed doors. I don't know how their attendance is working this year at home.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because do they get the gate money? Because
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, Orlando's the one opening their facilities, so I don't know.
And operating and paying all the staff. So yeah, maybe not. They'll probably play behind closed doors then, I'd imagine. So, but yeah, no, nothing really. I'm not much else to say besides I'm looking forward to next week and the games to end. There's the one tomorrow. There's 2 tomorrow. I think that 2 of them aren't the MLS.
One of them is MLS. Yeah.
I forget who it is, but
just Columbus tomorrow.
Yeah, one of them's Columbus.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right, and that's all of the teams, right? MLS wise.
Yep, that's it.
Portland, Atlanta, Union, Toronto, Crew. Yeah.
Portland, Atlanta, Toronto, Union, Columbus. Yeah. So. Yep. No, looking forward to it. I'm feeling confident that an MLS team is going to go pretty far this year from our nice start. So,
I mean, LAFC made the final last year.
Yeah.
Beat 3 Mexican teams to do it.
Final,
so the MLS can do it, obviously.
Right. I think reaching a final's got to be at least reasonable for one of these guys, honestly. I think with the talent I think that Columbus has, I see them or Portland really pushing in towards the final. But hey, Never know. Philly looked good. Philly can defend. That's one thing. God, that whole back line, you couldn't get anything. What's the guy, the blonde-headed guy's name?
Or Elliott?
Yeah, Glesnes. Yep, Glesnes. I know Jack
They're
Elliott.
both blonde.
Yeah. So that's true. Yeah, Glesnes. He. I mean, just he's like a brick wall. You can't get anything through him. He's like, okay, well, I'll take care of that. I'll dump that. So
he's the one that came over and just immediately wrecked the Saprissa players after that tackle too. He just came over like
he was going to kill him. I think.
Yeah, he was like, "You're out of here, dude."
Yeah. So
awesome. Well, we will be back for our podcast on Friday. Friday we have it's not going to be live. We already recorded it, but we do have an episode breaking down DC United that we will be releasing on Friday. So if you want to reach us, you can do that. If you're watching us now, you probably already know how to find us, but I think I'm going to put this up as an episode as well. So Twitter at Statesideshow, Instagram at Statesideshow, Facebook.com/Statesideshow, email us statesideshow@gmail.com. And don't be shy. Come hang out with us next time we go live. I think we might go live for San Jose, Houston, first game of the season. Be like a watch along where you can join us and you can watch Logan be a second or two ahead of me and spoil the broadcast. But yeah, so thanks everybody for hanging out, and go Union. I will be there for leg 2, and go Toronto. Get back up from this 1-0 deficit right now, and we will catch you all next time.